Hello there, Comic Clan, and welcome to the newest episode of the Comics in the Cross podcast, the greatest streamers you have never heard of. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on this fabulous Father's Day morning, or Father's Day afternoon at this point for us. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you're all having a fabulous day. I, of course, am one of your co-hosts, as always, Cross, along here with my partner in crime, Nitro. Say hi to the lovely people.
How's it going?
And of course, we are joined by an absolutely amazing guest today. We are so excited to have him on the show. Mr. Joshua Leonard is with us today, the creator of Team Supreme. Huge fan of this man, and it's such an honor to have him on the show. Thanks for being here with us, Joshua.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks again for coming, man.
Yeah, honestly, we are
awesome.
so grateful to have you here, man, and it's just absolutely awesome to have you on the show. So excited for this one today. So before we delve into our conversation for today, let me just do a little bit of housekeeping as we always do. First of all, I want to go ahead and mention our sponsor. As you can see on the screen just above Mr. Leonard himself, you will see GamerGrind Co., our official sponsor. And guess what, Nitro? It finally came in.
Nice.
I have been waiting for my newest bag for about 2 weeks now. I have been literally jonesing to get this. So this, of course, is the latest bag I've got in. Their campaign coffee. First time trying it. Really good brand, really good flavouring. Headshot's still my favourite personally, but I'm enjoying this now. Woo! As I wreck my set. So if you want to go ahead and get some of that amazing coffee for yourself and also support us, go ahead and check out our sponsor link. Yep, of course I typed that wrong, as I always do. Go ahead and click on that sponsor link. You can get some amazing coffee. GamerGrind Co., of course, the number one coffee for gamers. If you use Comics in the Cross in the checkout, you'll also save 5%. And while you're there, why not pick up yourself a Comics in the Cross official mug and sticker? Why not? Go ahead, treat yourself. It is Father's Day after all.
That's right. You gotta celebrate.
Exactly, you need to celebrate today. Shout out to Dawn and Chris in the chat. Hello guys, how are you doing? Hope you're all having an amazing day. Glad you could be here with us for an amazing show today. So along with a shout out for that, I want to give a special shout out as well. If you do enjoy the content that you get here and want to become a deeper part of, the Comic Clan here, you can support us on Patreon. If you click on that link, it will take you there, and you can support Comics in the Cross for as low as just $2 a month. We did have someone sign up for it this month, so a big massive shout out to that. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Like issue. Hey Ads, how you doing? Thank you so much for that host, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, so if you want to support us on there, we would greatly appreciate it. If you do not have the finances to do that, do not worry. That does not affect the content here. We are going to be here and we are going to be rambling and ranting for many, many, many weeks to come.
Like we always do.
Yep, regardless if we get finances or not. So if you want to support us, absolutely. Other thing, if you do want some more merchandise, because you say, Cross, a coffee cup is not enough. We need more merchandise from Comics in the Cross.
Leggings.
Yes, but you are pushing these leggings. It's like someone needs to buy leggings because Nitro's not stopped about these leggings.
You can continue every week until we get a pair.
You can head over to our store, hit the Teespring store there for us, where you can get an official Comics in the Cross t-shirt, hoodie, leggings, or from our superhero Square Go that we had a few weeks ago, you can pick up the poster that Nitro himself put together for that. Alright, one last thing before we delve into some stuff is we have been talking about it since the end of last month. We are doing a massive giveaway at the moment. I'm going to have to throw that in, and I'm going to hide our lovely faces for a moment to pull it up. Right there, as you can see on the screen, is a non-completed work of art that Nitro has been working on, putting together about 30 different Batman busts from various continuities, timelines, universes, whatever. He's trying to put them all together, and we are giving this away free. Oh well, I say free. We're giving this away to someone in chat. It's going to be given away to someone who is a sub to the channel by June 30th. So if you're not sub to the channel yet, this is your opportunity. There is 9 days left in this giveaway. On June 30th, I am cutting this off. If you're sub to the channel by June 30th, you're in with an opportunity to win this. And you can do that either through Amazon Prime or through even just a tier 1 sub for just $4.99. And the reason we're doing this for subs is because this is a beautiful piece of artwork that Nitro's gone out of his way to put together for y'all, and it would cost up to about $35-40. So we wanted to make sure that he got a little bit of, a little bit of recognition for it, for what he was doing. I mean, this is taking time for him to put together. And by next week, we will have the completed work to be able to show you exactly the full work that you're getting. No, hopefully you will have it done by next week to show the people.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to be in with a chance of winning that, then you have to be subbed to the channel by the end of the month. On June 30th, midnight is the cutoff, and the show following that, we will be announcing the winner. Alright, I think I've rambled enough. I think I've covered everything. Anything I've forgotten, Nitro?
No, I think you're good.
Sweet. We actually covered everything. Good. Alright.
Record time.
Yeah, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting better. And I'll do a little shout out for this as well, since we are here. This, of course, is our live show on Twitch, but of course all of our previous shows are archived over on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go over there and check out the previous episodes, give us a subscribe over there. Anything that appears here is going to end up over in the YouTube channel. So even this episode today will end up over there in the next couple of days. We'll get it uploaded there. So that's a way to keep up with us. Awesome. There we go. I think I definitely got everything this time. I'm done. Alright, and as always, I thought we would kick off with a little bit of some of the news that's been going on in the world, if that's alright with you gents.
Absolutely.
Let me pull up my news. Where is it? Here it is. Alright, so the first big bit of news this week is probably the biggest bit that most outlets have been talking about in the world of geek and nerd stuff, is of course the passing away of Ian Holmes at age 88. His agent had confirmed the death of the Guardian newspaper in England. It was a great sadness that actor Sir Ian Holmes, CBE, passed away this morning at age 88. He died peacefully in hospital with his family and carer, adding that his illness was Parkinson's related. Charming, kind, and ferociously talented, we will miss him hugely. Ian Holmes, obviously most well known for appearing in the Lord of the Rings trilogy as Bilbo Baggins. He also appeared in the first Alien movie and Chariots of Fire. And for any other fans of sci-fi out there, this is one of the things I always remember him from, is The Fifth Element as well.
I totally don't remember him in that. What part did he play?
He plays the older priest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I literally didn't realise it was him at first until someone kind of pointed it out to me, and it's like... But yeah, so Ian Holmes is a massive name in the geek world. How do we feel about this news, guys? Obviously, blessing to his family, prayers to his family at this time.
He was awesome in Lord of the Rings. I didn't really know him in anything other than Alien and Lord of the Rings, but he was awesome. And he had that one scene in Lord of the Rings where he scared the crap out of me, where his face turned into Gollum for a second.
Literally the most terrifying scene in any Lord of the Ring movie ever.
For real, it gets me every time.
Goes to Ian Holmes.
Every single time.
100%. 100%. What about you, Joshua? What do you think about the news of the passing of Ian Holmes?
Terrible, man. I remember him in the Lord of the Rings, but I'm glad he went peacefully.
Yeah.
And with family, so that's a blessing, man. But it's unfortunate, but he definitely paved the way, and he is a great actor, and we'll miss him for sure.
Yeah. I think that's what most people know him from. Most people, like, if you who is Ian Holmes, like Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, pretty much.
That made him. If he wasn't known before, that was the thing that made him known by everybody. Like everyone knows him off of that. But yeah, kind of like you said, it's so good to hear that he passed away peacefully. It's a shame to hear that he was dealing with Parkinson's, but thankfully, he's at rest now.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we're getting the audio might be a little low on your side, Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah, I can try.
I'll speak up a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll try turning up the audio as well. If you can drop your mic back a little bit, Nitro.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try turning up the audio, because I can't turn up the mics separately, but I can turn up your combined audio. So if you drop yours a little, hopefully we'll hear a bit more. But thank you for letting us know, Don. If it's still a bit iffy, please let us know. But yeah, so that's definitely, I think, the biggest bit of news that's been going on from this week. Also, as well as, seems to be a running theme for us. Like every week, I feel like there's DC news.
Yeah.
And it's not always in a good vein either. It's like it's for DC news, we've got more announcements for the Flash movie. You remember the Flash movie? That's a thing. That's a thing that's apparently happening.
Like 42 years ago.
Yeah, that's a thing that's apparently still happening. Eventually, maybe, I don't know.
We'll see.
So the newest rumor is apparently the producer from the Flash movie, the 50 millionth producer they've probably had, has apparently confirmed that we will be seeing Cyborg making an appearance. They've not confirmed whether it's like an appearance, like actually being in the movie, or if it's a cameo, or...
Yeah.
And the message was shared earlier this weekend by you, Doctor of Fate of the DC Extended Universe's subreddit. In the post, Machete, which I'm probably mispronouncing horribly, answers obviously after a fan asked her if Fisher's fan favourite character would be making an appearance or cameo.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I rewatched Justice League. Justice League the other day, and I was just reminded by how little screen time he had. And apparently they shot like hours of footage with him and that just did not make it into the movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole relationship with him and his father Silas and all that stuff like was just, we don't need that. I'm like, well, that's pretty core to his character, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how he wasn't a main character, because the whole premise of that awful movie was Steppenwolf getting the mother boxes, and then it's like, well, Cyborg's made from one of the mother boxes.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a factor at all? No. Then why mention it?
Okay.
So why bring that up if that's not going to be a thing? So how do we feel about the fact that we could be seeing Cyborg appear in the Flash movie?
I think it's cool. I love Ray Fisher as Cyborg, and I would love to see more of him.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The interesting thing is this could also play into, like, with this going around, the rumor has restarted because there's zero confirmation from anyone, but yet everyone's talking about it, that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is being eyed to play the Flashpoint Batman Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, in the Flashpoint universe, when things are changed, the timeline is completely changed, and Bruce Wayne actually dies in the alley instead of his parents, which leads his father to go ahead and take up the mantle of being Batman, and is a lot more of a rough and ruthless sort of Batman. So
yeah,
that's apparently a thing that could happen.
I think that'd be cool. I don't know. I feel like they try to take on too much stuff at one time instead of kind of just pacing themselves. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Definitely.
It would be cool to see that, though. It would be cool to see that.
The thing I think with it as well is that it could also hint at why Cyborg appears, because if you go through the Flashpoint story, Cyborg does make an appearance in it.
Mm-hmm.
Although in saying that, so does a lot of the other heroes. But like the directors said, it's like, oh, we're going to go Flashpoint, but it's going to be totally different from the Flashpoint story we know. So it's literally, we could maybe do it.
We're just going to take like elements from Flashpoint and kind of make a movie from it instead of actually, adapting the actual storyline.
Apparently,
like Infinity War.
Yeah, at least that's what they're hinting at. Like, I still think Flashpoint's a stupid move for the first Flash movie.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's this massive storyline, this massive thing, and I'm like, and you're just going to throw it out there as the first Flash movie. You're not going to build to it in any way. Okay.
Well, I mean, if they're trying to retcon like some of their universe, it makes sense. Like if they want to, they could go about it that way, and they're like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of cool. That makes sense.
We shouldn't need to retcon the universe 6 movies in.
That's true. You shouldn't.
That's all I'm saying. It shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, so that's still a rumor that Jeffrey Dean Morgan could be appearing in it. But then again, this has also been a rumor since pretty much Batman versus Superman happened, and he appeared as Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
So throwing that out there so that you're all aware of it, but take it all with a pinch of salt.
We'll hear another piece of news about the Flash movie in probably like 2 years.
Yeah. All right, so this news story I'm interested to talk about because this popped up in my Twitter feed yesterday, and I'm still in shock about it. So, you all know about Funko Pops. I know Nitro knows about Funko Pops.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's a little bit obsessed. At first, I wondered if this might be about him. Like, if I should come over and get him some marriage counseling or something, because like this.
I'm happily married. Just want to throw that out there.
Yes, but is she? That's the question.
Gotta ask her, man.
So basically, it popped up in my news feed, like literally trending was Funko Pop, was trending on Twitter. And I'm like, why? Why is that trending on Twitter? Pops have been around forever. And basically, the story is the title of it is "Am I the beep hole for choosing Funko Pops over my wife?" That's how he entitles his own thing. Like, that's literally how he entitles the start of it. And this is it. This is what was posted. It says, "I know everyone's going to think this is fake, but trust me when I say this is an actual situation I'm going through. So for some explanation, I've been collecting Funko Pops way before I ever met my wife. Buying Funko Pops started off as a small interest, but quickly became a passion of mine. Since my first time buying a Funko Pop 6 years ago, I've stocked up thousands of these figures. So now, about my relationship with my wife. 2 years ago, I met my soon-to-be wife. From the very beginning of the relationship, she was well aware of my Funko Pop collection and was well aware that at the time, I was spending a few $100 monthly in order to keep expanding my collection. A few $100 monthly. I'd like to point out, these things are like $8.
Right.
Like the normal standard ones are like $8 or $8.99. It's like, how many are you buying monthly? You spend hundreds.
Yeah.
And she was perfectly fine with this, by the way. In fact, she would buy Funko Pops for me for my birthday and for Christmas.
And let's be honest, if he's saying a couple $100, it's probably like double that.
Yeah.
If he's like trying to admit to a couple hundred, it's probably like $300-$400.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
So she bought them for my birthday and Christmas. However, about a week ago, we got in a huge fight over my spending on Funko Pops. I will admit that these past few months I've been dropping about $500 monthly on Funko Pops. That's like half my mortgage, man. You know what I mean? It's like... but in my opinion, it was not financially tanking, considering me and my wife have pretty decent jobs. I don't want to state what those jobs are due to privacy reasons. Anyway, she was telling me I needed to stop the Funko Pop collecting for a long time, or at least cut down on my Funko Pop spending to 3 Funko Pops per month. In my opinion, that is so ridiculous considering how limited it would be in my choice of Funko Pops. I tried to explain to her how much I enjoy collecting these figures and how much it means to me. She then started yelling that we were going to go into debt because of the amount of money I was spending on the Funko Pops. I stated to her that she was completely overreacting and there is no way we could possibly go into debt from this. After some time screaming, she locked herself in the bedroom and I slept on the couch. I really did not feel bad at all. I knew she was overreacting. When I woke up in the morning, she told me that she was going to stay at her sister's house till we sort things out. I honestly couldn't believe she was going so far to this. I tried my best to convince her to stay, but again, she kept stating that I needed to stop the Funko collecting for a long time. This isn't an option for me because, again, she is completely overreacting. It is in no way affecting us financially. A few days ago, I get a call from her. She tells me that I need to choose either I stop Funko Pop collecting or we're getting a divorce. I started telling her how ridiculous she was being because she obviously is being ridiculous. After 2 years, she was just willing to throw away our marriage over my passion. She was pretty much sobbing at that point, and then I finally just told her I'm not going to let her get in the way of my passion. I still haven't gotten the divorce papers, but I'm expecting them soon. So am I the beep hole for choosing Funko Pops over my wife? Again, I'm very passionate about them, and I think it's ridiculous for someone to try and take them away from me, when it is in no way, shape or form hurting them.
Oh, wow. It obviously is hurting them, though.
So...
Sounds like they need to have a budget committee meeting.
I don't even know where to start with this, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know
wow.
what? If he's saying that's his passion, then he should be doing that for a living. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's his passion. I'm like,
yeah.
Like your passion's collecting Funko Pops.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's different, but if that's what he loves to do, that's what he needs to be doing for a living.
Yeah. Like trying to figure out a way to make money.
Knows all about him. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like trying to figure out a way to make money with that or something.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I was looking in the comments of that post, and somebody put the definition for addiction. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Well, yeah, like I think everyone's like that. It's definitely an addiction when he talks about, yeah, I'm throwing away a couple of $100 on Funko Pops. I'm like,
And again,
how?
like if somebody's like trying to admit to something that like might come across as shameful, and they're giving you a stat, just double it off the top, because that's probably what it is in real.
Well, considering he then goes up to like, I'm
Yeah.
now spending about $500 the last couple of months, and I'm like, are you throwing away $1,000?
Right.
Like on Funko Pops? Like, where are you putting them all?
Yeah.
Like, I've got like 6 or 7 on my shelf in back here. You can't see it because of my work computer, but that are on my shelf here on my set, and it's like, I don't have room for any more. Where are you putting these things? Like, seriously?
Yeah, that's nuts, man. So to answer his question, it would be a resounding yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the big question is, gentlemen, is like, would you be willing to throw away your relationship, your marriage, your 2 years together with the love of your life if she told you to give up your Funko Pops?
No.
Or if she told you to give up your passion? Because he says this is passion. You know, it's like, you know, I've often heard, you know, preachers saying that. It's like, you know, it's like you want to see where someone's heart is, where's their money, you know, where are they putting their finances into.
Right.
Clearly his heart is in Funko Pops because like he's spending that amount of money.
I think Joshua, you made a good point. Like, if it's your passion, like, why don't you try to figure out a way to make money with it? So, like, you can answer your wife's objection, which is like it's hurting us financially, but also do what you love to do.
Exactly. And if she knew that, you know, if she was supporting him at the beginning, it obviously turned into something worse. So that's something they both should have kind of looked into. That's unhealthy at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, my question is like, how many Funko Pops did he have when they started dating?
Right.
Because if he's dropping like a couple of $100 a month up to $500 a month, you know, just giving him the leeway of like what he said is true, the amount he gave us is true. How many did you have? Like, you've been together for 2 years and you're dropping, say you're dropping even like 200 or 300 a month. Take out the 500, just a couple of hundred. You've been together for 2 years. 24 months, 24 times like 300. You're talking like $50,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're talking like, well, $50,000. You're talking about like $5,000-$6,000 more.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's like you're talking this massive amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And how many pops can you buy for that amount of money? I'm like, well, yeah, after 2 years, like, oh yes, you knew I had a collected Funko Pops, and I'm like, yeah, did you have like 10 or something when you started dating her though? I'm like, and now like she's gonna have to go to sleep in her bedroom, and she's got like walls of Funko Pops around her.
Like, she can't move her arm. She's gonna knock over her whole row of boxes.
I'm like, no, that's a conversation to have, and I'm like, and you know what? See, even being in her position, I think she's being very generous.
Yeah.
She says you need to give it up, or like she's even aware that there's an addiction there, and it's like, or at least cut it down to 3 Funko Pops a month.
Yeah.
She's even letting him have some.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah, that's nuts. He just needs to go to therapy or something for that.
oh, absolutely. Hey, old Tommy, thank you so much for the host, brother. Thank you for being here. Glad you can make it, man. Thank you for that host. We greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so I thought that'd be a nice little fun news story to kind of end on, and you know, just a warning for you, Nitro. Just, you know, throwing that out there.
I'm stopping.
Because if Joshua,
I just gotta get one more.
Yeah, Joshua, if you don't know, like literally when I met Nitro, he didn't have any Funko Pops.
Well, not only that, I said I can't start collecting them because like I'm a collector at heart. Like I love to collect stuff, so I'm very specific about what I get. I was like, I know if I get one, it's gonna be over.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see like, yeah,
Yeah,
see where his
that's
TV is. That's like,
Here. So I'm limiting myself to Spider-Man ones.
Okay.
And
because you know how that's a small market. Yeah, so see like all the boxes up in his like, you know, his wardrobe behind him, and then all the ones that are along the front of the TV there that you can't see because it's dark.
Yeah.
Like that's some of them.
Camera.
All right. So thank you, gentlemen, for discussing the news with me. Thank you for that little kickoff. So let's jump into the main event for today. The stuff that everyone is in chat desperately waiting for. I know I'm making you wait for it. I don't care.
Gotta build up the
We had to
anticipation.
build the anticipation for this because we have Mr. Joshua Leonard with us today. As we said at the start, thank you so much for coming and being on the show with us today, brother. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you.
And this has been a few weeks in the making that we had this planned out, and it's just such an honor to finally have you on the show and get to talk with you. It's so for those in chat and those that are going to be watching later that don't really know who you are and what you do, then why don't you give us a little introduction to yourself? Who are you? Where'd you come from? What are your passions that could destroy a relationship?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm very humbled to be featured with you guys. Happy Father's Day as well.
You as well.
And, yeah, same to you, brother. Happy Father's Day.
I appreciate it, man. So, my name is Joshua Leonard. I'm a military brat. So, I was born in Miami, Florida, and I moved from Miami to Alaska, from Alaska to Maryland, Maryland to Biloxi, Mississippi, and now I live in Atlanta. So, I started drawing. So basically, I'm an animator and a character designer, frame by frame animation. I can, paper, old school Disney style, or frame by frame on a computer, digitally. So I use Toon Boom to animate in. I draw in Photoshop. But I've been drawing since I was about 3 years old. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. So my older brother taught me how to draw when I was about 3. Taught me how to draw Garfield. So from there, I never put the pencil down, man. I loved everything dealing with art. And then as I grew up older, I was an athlete as well. I had scholarships, football, track, baseball, played basketball. And I kind of had that art as a downfall just in case I got hurt, which I did. I blew my knee out. But everything happens for a reason, so yeah. I wasn't discouraged or anything like that because art was my passion anyway. I just wanted that quick athletic money, you know what I mean? So I got into animation when I was younger. So I came from a strict background, obviously being a military brat. Then growing up in the church like crazy, going like Monday through Sunday, man, it was crazy.
Every time the doors were open.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, I started watching like Looney Tunes and stuff. I grew up watching Looney Tunes, Chuck Jones, big Chuck Jones fan. Obviously Disney, Stan Lee. So that's kind of where I got my start. Definitely Chuck Jones, the Looney Tunes, and I was like, man, this is. As a kid, you seeing these. First of all, the artwork is beautiful. Because back then they were using all frame by frame animation, so everything looked better. The backgrounds were painted, everything. You really appreciated what you were seeing back then. Not saying today's animation isn't good. I just appreciate that old school style of animation, and it grew with me ever since, man. So I graduated from the Art Institute 2 years ago, 2018. So I worked full time at Home Depot. Thank you. So I worked full time at Home Depot and was going to school full time as an animation student. And it was tough. I would go to work. I would go to school from like 8 to 2:30. Had to work from 3 to midnight. Get off at midnight. Stay up till 4 in the morning doing my animation projects. And still graduated summa cum laude with a 4.0.
Dude, that's awesome.
Wow.
And it's a blessing, man. I'm very grateful that I had that energy to do it because I don't, man. Right now I'm tired and I'm not doing school. For me to be able to go through all of that and just not take any days off, and it was rough, man. But I'm grateful that I had that energy to do that. And what else? I got in the animation industry, like professionally with, so I went viral for Team Supreme a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I had the idea around 2008, 2009, but I didn't know how to animate at that time. Like truly didn't understand character design, animation, like the step-by-step process. And that's why I went to school for it. So after I learned that in the step-by-step process, I started to kind of tease little images here and there. And my whole brand is like inclusion and diversity. So I'm real big on that, and that's what I wanted to. Those are the type of the characters I wanted to create. So
Yeah.
that's what I focus on, and so it went viral, and I was on LinkedIn, and I remember making a post. I took a picture because I work in the lumber yard at Home Depot, and I drive forklifts and unload trucks and loading concrete all day. So it's physical labor, but people that don't know me, they just think I'm a celebrity because I've been in these magazines, or I've been on this TV show, or these interviews. But I have to, I tell them like I'm humble, man. Like I still work full time. I work a 9 to 5, and it is tough. But at the same time, I'm working this hard so I can create for a living when the time comes. And I made a post on LinkedIn just saying how bad I want to just draw for a living. And but even at Home Depot, I still take pride in my work and everything.
Yeah.
My lumber is clean and flat stacked and everything like that. And a friend of mine named Chris Young, who was at Nickelodeon at the time, he found me on LinkedIn, and he offered me a freelance character design position. And
so awesome.
it was amazing, man. Yeah, it was a blessing. So that was one of them. And then I worked on a short film called Mila, which is still in the making right now with Chinzia. So she's another one that got me on. That's kind of where we at right now, man.
Nice.
So a little bit of my background.
So awesome. The stuff with Nickelodeon and like the short movie you've done, like you said, like that's still in production and stuff. When can we expect to see that stuff kind of come into light so that we can see it for ourselves? Is there a timeline on that?
I have to find out from Chinzia. I'm just an illustrator on the film, but
Gotcha.
you can see her. Like we have a clip, a really nice trailer on YouTube. You can just type in Mila Film, Mila, and then film FILM, and it's super dope, man. But
do you want to see if you can find that Nitro and throw it in the chat for everybody?
Yep.
So we can throw that in there and just kind of
the 2 Nickelodeon shows that I worked on. I'm not sure when those come out, especially with my most recent one being just last year, and then after COVID-19. So I have to find out. I just know I did receive those 2 paychecks, so I'm thankful for that.
As long as we got paid, we're good.
Well, that's it. You got paid for it, so everything's good, man. Everything's good.
Yeah, man.
But that's awesome, man. And congratulations on that. I mean, working with Nickelodeon, like that's nothing small. That's like one of the big animation companies. Like you say Nickelodeon, everyone knows who that is.
It was awesome.
Especially guys our age. Like we grew up on Nickelodeon. We grew up on that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Nitro's threw it up in the chat. If you want to click on that, that's the link to that movie, or the trailer for it at least.
So Joshua, you said, so I was reading up on you a little bit just in prep for it today. My understanding is that you got the idea for Team Supreme like in high school, right?
Yeah, long time ago. Long time ago.
So like, what kind of sparked that, if you don't mind me asking? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So like I said, I'm a military brat. So military kids usually get along with everybody. We're very well rounded because we live everywhere. So black, white, Korean, disabilities, it don't matter. We like people, and we get along with everybody. So when I was in high school, I knew a lot of people who had disabilities and stuff like that, but I was never one to be like, oh man, that's different. I didn't care. So I never wanted to like shun people, or I got to know anybody and everybody. So actually right after I graduated, after Hurricane Katrina, I didn't speak on that, but I was homeless from Hurricane Katrina. So I got evacuated to Atlanta. I went back, my whole place was gone on the beach, everybody's was,
Wow.
So it's a gift and a curse. Everybody is sad about it, but I'm thankful that I went through it because it makes you appreciate little things in life. That's what I tell people, man, money comes and goes, but yeah, I was working at Home Depot out there. I worked at UPS and Home Depot, and a buddy of mine named Todd, his son is on the autism spectrum. And that's when I was really ignorant to it, and I was just learning. And he was telling me like, yo, my son can watch a Disney movie and watch the credits. And as he sees these names, he'll go back and watch it and be able to say like Craig Stevens did this scene or did this. And I'm listening to this. I'm like, you got kidding me, man.
That's
And
nuts.
and I started doing more research, and the more I researched, the more I fell in love with this. Like these are superpowers, you know. So, and that's kind of where I got the idea from.
That's
And
so cool.
That's
and I
awesome.
feel like, yeah, I feel like everybody living and breathing today, we all have a disability, you know,
Yeah.
whether we want to believe it or not. I know I do, you know. So it's stuff like that, man. And our differences is what makes us so dope, you know. I mean, there's so many copy and paste people around right now that it's flooding the market. We need to just be our different selves, man. So
Yeah.
that's
I
where I
agree
got
100%.
the idea from, man. And just learning more about all of these disabilities and seeing what people are capable of, and it's awesome, man. I love it.
And were you always planning on like doing like did you always wanted to do an animated like show, or was it ever like something else and it kind of morphed into an animated show, like maybe a comic or something like that?
Yeah, I was definitely gonna do a comic. I still will do a comic, but I always wanted to be an animator.
Yeah.
And create a moving product. But where I'm at right now, I'm like, man, just to get it out, I don't mind if it's a live action. I just want to show inclusion and diversity in these films and cartoons, and I have no problem showing that on as a live action, you know, show or film. So
I do agree with you though. The old school Disney movies are by far way better than the new ones as far as animation.
Yeah.
Like I think like the one that specifically speaks to me is Sleeping Beauty. The battle when he's battling the dragon on the side of the rocks.
Yeah.
Just the way that's just so fluidly animated. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, they were geniuses back then, man. It's really, they did some amazing things. And you still have like Spa Studios, Sergio Pablo, I believe, who just did the movie. It's on Netflix. Klaus.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
in my watch
Man,
I haven't seen that yet.
In that, you know, and he worked. He did some Disney stuff back in the day, so he gets it. So the whole movie was done hand drawn, but it was the lighting textures that they put on the movie. It looks 3D. The whole movie is 3D. It's amazing what kind of technology. But yeah, Spa Studios, and shout out to Sergio. He's a beast, man.
Yeah, the animation in that movie is absolutely beautiful. It really is. It looks like it's a 3D CGI movie. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, man.
That's one of the things I appreciate about like I'm not a ginormous fan of Avatar. I like the show, and my wife and I are kind of going through it like
playing with fire, Nitro, playing with fire.
But the animation in Avatar is just because it involves like martial arts and just a really fluid movement, and like I think it's better. So that animation is better than a lot of the stuff that I see. It's it's so good. It's so good.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
So I kind of want to follow up a little bit on something that Nitro was saying, then kind of how you got into like the start of that. Just shout out Dawn in the comments here. Is just saying, a comic will be dope, which I absolutely agree with. Like we 100% will back you on a comic for Team Supreme.
Absolutely.
That's kind of our bread and butter, and we'd be all in for that 100%.
Yeah, awesome. It's definitely gonna happen for sure.
All right.
Yeah. Just tell us when, bro. We'll do what we can. 100%.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
So yeah, just to kind of follow up on what Nash was saying, kind of like getting to the beginning of Team Supreme, and like you had the idea like obviously so long ago. Was that like the initial thing, like you said, seeing people with disabilities, and then kind of like realizing this is kind of like a superpower, the stuff that they can do?
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly.
Was that like the sole like basis behind like it becoming a superhero team, or did you have like superhero or comic book or that sort of world influence as part of it? Because you mentioned like stuff like Looney Tunes and the old school Disney stuff was a big influence on your art. Like, was there superhero elements to it, or was that a brand new world you dove into when you decided to go down this?
So here's the 100% honest truth. And so the animation industry is less than 4% black people. It has less than 4%, which is terrible. So what I did, I was like, you know what? Not only are they not hiring black people to work on these films and cartoons, I don't see enough diversity. I don't see enough inclusion. I don't see people in wheelchairs or walkers. I don't see sickle cell characters.
Yeah.
So I saw all of that. You got to realize, man, I'm 36 years old. So you grow up. I have 36 years of watching cartoons and just studying these, and it's the same thing. And as a creator, I'm like, man, I feel like as an artist, especially a black artist, I feel like it's my job to open up these doors for the next generation. I want everybody, all these new kids I want to draw. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to draw somebody with albinism or something like that. So that's where I got the idea from. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to create every type of character, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And so I wanted to create and that's kind of where I was talking about Stan Lee. I wanted to also create a universe where the superheroes are inclusive to people with disabilities.
Yeah.
As same with the villains, and there'll be people that don't have disabilities, but the superheroes will have, it'll be special needs and disabilities and And one thing I wanted to do, I don't want people to feel sorry. I want people to be like, man, this character is dope.
Yeah.
He also has one arm. You know what I mean? Not like, oh, don't feel. I want them to realize how. Listen, I seen a guy on Instagram, and I love sharing these videos. This brother was in a wheelchair, and he was climbing a rock wall without the harness, man. And I'm like, man, you got
that's nuts.
That's so dope to me, man. And it gives you chills. Like nothing can stop this dude. And I love seeing that. I saw a guy with half an arm, no hands and fingers. He just had like arms, but they were cut off and he was playing the piano, like Beethoven type songs. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So but I'm seeing that stuff, and I'm like, why aren't these? I know it's not what people are used to seeing. I get that, but I mean, come on, man. Everybody's different, so that's where the whole thing came from. I really just wanted to go against the grain, man, to be honest. So.
And you did, though. That's the thing, and it's an amazing thing to see. Like, it's like I've talked to you a little bit about it, Joshua. Like, my oldest son has got autism.
Yeah.
So like when I first learned about like Team Supreme, that was what caught my attention. Like, these are superheroes. Like I grew up on superheroes, comic books. That is my passion. That's what I've always been into. And to see someone like delving into that world, like a world at the time when I first heard about you and Team Supreme was like must have been like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. My son had just been diagnosed. I didn't even fully understand what autism really was at that time.
Right.
And to see someone like taking that risk and going like, yeah, I'm going to represent that and all these other disabilities and show like these aren't hindrances to people. Like my son is like, his mind's amazing. Like, we struggled for so long to get him to talk. He was non-verbal for a long time. Mm-hmm. He could crush pretty much any puzzle that he's seen. Like, any puzzle we put in front of him that kids would struggle with, he would like fly through it in minutes.
Yeah.
And then seconds once he got used to the puzzle, and he would like his counting and his colors and all this stuff. He would just start spouting this stuff that we hadn't taught him. He just picked it up.
Right.
And it's like, it was crazy. And to see someone representing that of like that, he's not disabled. It's like he sees the world in a completely unique way, and he's probably smarter than all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And that's funny you say that. Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I work at Home Depot right now with a friend of mine named David, and he's just high functioning autism, Asperger's, and when I talk to David, like, he's so detail oriented, and he always tells me, he speaks really loud, and I mean, this brother's a genius, man. And he always tells, like, Josh, I have a learning disability. And I'm like, where? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay, smart, but David, man, like, he tells me he's a linear thinker, and like he knows every definition. He knew how many people were in the stands when Michael Jordan won Game 6 or whatever. Every little detail. And Yankee Stadium has this many seats, and I'm like, man, what the? And that's what I'm saying, man. If I'm doing research on this stuff, I just fell in love with it, man. And I told people, like, if I wasn't an artist, I might have been a doctor, because I love hearing about it. Like, a lot of people don't know there's a term called neuroplasticity. So if I'm blind, your brain doesn't know that, and it'll give your senses to, it'll spread out the senses. So
Yeah.
if I don't have eyesight, my ears are gonna be way
Yeah, like
stronger.
super hearing.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
I'm like, how come nobody hasn't done this like this, man? This is the superheroes they're already there. It's written.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I was talking to Nitro about that. Like, just even thinking about mainstream comics, just Marvel and DC, the two big houses, and I'm like, the amount of characters that have got disabilities is so few and far between, and like, at least at our mainstay, like they've started creating more, but nobody really knows of them. Like, literally, I think there's like 3 or 4 that really sprung to mind when we were talking about it. Like, Daredevil obviously is kind of the big one for his blindness. Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, when she got shot by the Joker, she became paraplegic.
Yeah.
Until she was healed.
Yeah. And they say Batman has depression, so.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain he does. But we talked about it when we talked about our favorite superheroes last week, like Moon Knight and Legion, both have dissociative identity disorder, and multiple personalities, and one that barely comes up is like Hawkeye's actually deaf.
Yeah.
But nobody ever talks about it. Right. It's just kind of like, yeah, he's deaf, and I'm like, no, we should kind of talk about that. That's.
Play that up. Yeah.
But like, it's almost like kind of is pushed to the background.
It is.
And it's like you don't see it, and when you do see it, it's few and far between. So it's honestly really inspiring to see you creating a team that's like, no, these people have disabilities, but they're still phenomenal. They're still awesome.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joshua, but the leader of the team, he has depression, right? He struggles with depression.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I think they did make a lot of changes. But he still does. It's a long process, man. That's what's taking so long. Everybody's like, man, when is this coming out? It's taking long because we still consult with. We want true facts about these these disabilities and stuff. So we research heavily, and I'm working with Jason Weaver, who played Simba in The Lion King, did all the music.
Man, that's so
Shout
cool.
out to Jason. So he got it to Lena Waithe. Lena's a big time writer, The Shy, Queen and Slim. So I'm working with her company, Hillman Grad, and we all want the show to just be as inclusive and diverse as possible. My writer is partially deaf,
Oh, okay.
So he's Cuban. So shout out to Giselle. She's a Cuban writer she worked on Quantico, and just a super great writer. And man, we want the whole cast and crew to be all types of inclusive and diverse.
So cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So I've got a question. I don't want to switch gears too much, but so I went to school for art. I got my degree in art. So like I'm super fascinated about the whole process. And one thing, I was totally stalking your Instagram, and one thing that I really appreciate about you is that you have a very particular aesthetic with your characters that I really, really like exaggerated features. And so I guess my question is, did you always gravitate towards that style, or was that something that you kind of intentionally moved towards?
Man, good question. I study a lot of artists. Mm-hmm. Like I learn from anybody that draws. I like how you did your eyes.
Yeah.
Try that from I love to do that. Like some artists do immaculate hands better than me. I study that, and I'll save them. And I'm like, okay, I see what he did here. So it's a bunch of a mixture of all of that. But I definitely always like to exaggerate.
Yeah.
Long necks, and especially with women. But especially if I'm drawing a man, the features will be way more obvious. Stronger.
Well, I like even the way that you paint. It's almost planar, on the faces. It's planes of color. It's so cool, and it's very distinct how you do that. Yeah, I really love that.
I appreciate
and you did a series of paintings of, I think it was dancers, and just the the grasp that you have on the movement in the body, even when they're just standing there, because there's movement in the body, even when you're standing there, it's just the flow of the body. Right. It's fantastic. Yeah. I wanted to say that. It's just fantastic.
I appreciate it, man. And you know what? That's what's crazy about those, all of those drawings that I did of the dancers. Usually I'm an illustrator. I illustrated first with scribble lines.
Yeah.
The dancers were straight. I started off with straight shapes, and that was solid gray. And then I went in and added all the muscle. But that I was just trying a new technique, and it is quick because I didn't
Yeah.
have to draw anything. I literally just painted everything in, and you know, erased certain things to get the leg muscles and that. But it was a learning process for me, and it worked, man. And a lot of people, they just love them. So
So cool.
thank you.
So we kind of switch back
go ahead.
into it again, just for Team Supreme itself. I did have a question about it because we've kind of talked a lot about the influence of the characters, the influence of where it all came from, and you know the reason that Team Supreme came to being. Can you tell us a little bit more kind of about the team itself, the characters that are in it, who they are, and what's the general story of Team Supreme? Because like they're kids with disabilities or superheroes, but
Yeah,
like we don't
so,
really. We've not really dove any further into what the story is beyond that. So what is the story of these characters? Who are they, and
Right.
what can we expect from it?
So without giving too much away, let me see if y'all can see. So the big guy back there in the back, that's Dr. Jackson. He's actually based on my best friend who was killed in 2008.
Oh wow!
So the far orange and green, that's Thumper, and he's deaf. The next one to him is Zeke, and Zeke is on the autism spectrum. I have who is that? Mech is in the wheelchair. He has spina bifida. That's Lee. Lee is blind, and then that's Sweet Pea. So she had sickle cell at first, but we made a lot of changes. So we didn't give her a disability just because we wanted to show how a child who has a brother or sister with a disability copes as well. So we wanted to write that.
That's a really cool idea
as well. So, like I said, man, the goal is I want to have a whole universe, every type of disability. If I can touch on it, and I just want to have these dope characters and dope villains. And another thing I wanted to do was have a good guy with, PTSD, and a bad guy with PTSD. You know what I mean? Just that way you can show them both. Like this was a choice that they made.
Yeah.
So, and the comics will probably be a little darker. They'll be a little older, teenage-ish, instead of being like 6th, 7th graders. But so yeah. And I also had the main guy, Dr. Jackson. He used to have superpowers, but we took the superpowers away because we want him to be more normalized, and try to keep up with these kids, these amazing super kids that have these superpowers and these disabilities. So, what else? So yeah, man, but I can't give too much of it away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We still are in the pitching phase and all of that stuff. So that's about it, man.
No, definitely. And thank you for that. Just to kind of give an idea of who the characters are and what kind of stuff they're dealing with, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like, and I appreciate that we don't want to give away too much because, we'll learn about it when we finally get to see the show because it will get picked up, I fully believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone will see sense and pick up the show, absolutely.
Yeah. It'll get picked up when it's supposed to. So I'm not, I used to stress about it, but I'm like, you know what? There's nothing out there like this.
No.
Even with, when people try, it's not even, there's nothing like this. So nobody is, not that I know of, that's branding this type of cartoon the way I am. I'm going about it the right way. And, I do speaking events and what is that?
Yeah.
Disability Mentoring Day right there.
That's awesome.
And that was awesome, man. I got to speak with about 100 students with disabilities who were about to graduate and just kind of prep them for the real life. And
that's so
tell
cool.
them, just let them know, hey, find your superpower, man, and go on with it. And it had a blast, man.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. That is absolutely amazing, man. So glad that you're getting that opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So I gotta know. So again, we're kind of switching back and forth. So as a digital art geek, I gotta know what tools you use, like physical tools that you use when you're animating. Yeah.
Okay, so when I'm animating or when I'm just drawing?
When you're just drawing.
Okay, when I'm drawing, I draw in Photoshop.
Okay.
And I've been doing Photoshop probably 20 years, so I pretty much mastered that. And everybody's like, man, Procreate. And I'm not.
I've heard that.
I've never drawn with Procreate, and I heard it's awesome. They say it's just like Photoshop and cheaper. But I'm old school to Photoshop, and I know how to do all the tricks and secrets, and you
Yeah.
know. So, but and then I animate in Toon Boom. So Toon Boom
Okay.
actually sponsors me, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about like, so I know nothing about animation. Like, how is that? How is that? What is that process like? So obviously, you said you do it digitally, you do it in a program. So like,
yeah,
how many? I don't want to like super detail, but like, how does that work? Like, I don't even know how that works.
Okay, so first of all, you can animate in Photoshop too. A lot of people don't know. So there
Okay,
is
I didn't
there
know
is
that.
a whole I think it's under Windows, and a timeline will come up at the bottom, and you'll see a
Yeah.
bunch of different little papers, and you just draw just like you would in any like on a piece of paper, and you can hit play, and it'll just go right past. So,
Yeah.
um, but Toon Boom is the industry standard software,
Mm.
and that's what I think Princess and the Frog, I think Lion King used it, Simpsons
Okay.
still used it, I think Family Guy. So, um, but it is a process for sure, man. I usually
Yeah.
start off. I'll create like backgrounds. First, I start off with like some thumbnails, like really rough, just to kind of get an idea. Okay, I need to have this. I need to have him
Yeah.
placed here, you know. So, and then I mean, it's rough. It's very, and I tell
Yeah.
kids and anybody that's interested in animating, like you have to be patient, man.
Yeah.
Patient, especially for frame by frame. Puppet animation is a little different because you're just moving, you know, you're moving the elbow part, you know.
You're moving something physical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're moving a toy. You know, it's almost like 3D animation. That's kind of why I don't really care for it, because I actually like to draw. You know,
Yeah.
so but yeah, I start off with the backgrounds and Toon Boom. I mean, you can do 2D and 3D. I can bring in a Maya, like a 3D object from Maya and bring it in Toon Boom and then animate around it. Like if I wanted to draw
So cool.
a character jumping over this 3D vehicle,
Yeah.
I can do that. So it's definitely a process, man. But that's pretty much what I do, man. I start off with those thumbnails and then I bring it in and really rough
Yeah.
animating, just almost shapes, you know, almost shapes. So it is a lot of work, as you're touching the same pose a lot of times just because you want it as loose and you want it to flow properly.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. You know, you're talking 10,000 drawings for like 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, but it's fun, man. When you hit play and you see what you did, you're like, okay, this is worth it. Then, you know.
Well, I used to like when I was younger, like getting the flip books and you would draw a character and then draw a little bit and then flipping through it was just so gratifying. Yeah.
It's the same thing, man. That's exactly what animation is, man. Yeah. Yep.
So I do have a question. So if we have somebody that's like listening that's had an idea, like somebody that's wanted to create something for a long time, like a comic or an animation or something like that, and they have a hardcore passion about it like you do, like what advice would you give them? Like,
okay, yeah.
what step, what like would be the first step? Like, I have this thing that I've wanted to do for so long, I don't even know where to start.
Right. Okay. So first things first, your characters, you got to copyright.
Okay.
Must copyright. You got to copyright your characters because you cannot copyright an idea, unfortunately. So, and that's why you see so much stuff that's alike.
Yeah.
You can't copyright that idea. That's kind of what happened to me with the PBS thing. So, yeah, definitely you got to get your copyright. If you have your stuff written, get that copyrighted as well. I don't mind sharing. I didn't mind sharing the Team Supreme stuff because I have attorneys ready. You know, I knew this was gonna happen, and nobody else was doing it like I was doing it. That's the only reason I was like, you know what? I don't care if everybody sees this. I know people are gonna get ideas. I know they're gonna take ideas. That's fine.
Yeah.
In the end, they'll know that I did it and I was the first creator of this type. But yeah, definitely the copyrights. Get an attorney. Make sure you do it. Make sure you're getting it done correctly. You know, because they'll tell you straight up. And there's ways you can do a group copyright with all of your characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but it's convenient.
Yeah.
You know, instead of paying, I think $60 or $50, whatever it is now for each. So it's definitely you're definitely gonna have to get your artwork copyrighted. and then I would say just go ahead with it. Start producing that thing, man. If you want to work with somebody, LinkedIn is really good for, you know, a lot of industry people, you know, or if you wanted to not work with anybody in the industry, you can get on Instagram and meet people who want to work on stuff. And the reason I said LinkedIn, because those people are in the industry and they will feedback as well for free. A lot of those guys do want to help and give back. So, and that's kind of what happened to me. But yeah, major thing is just getting that stuff copyrighted, man. You want to make sure you're 100% covered. And yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. I'm just waiting on Nitro now because he's been throwing a lot of the art stuff. So
no, I had it. I'm sorry. I know it's an awkward pause, but I had a ton of list of questions for you.
It's absolutely awesome. Go for it, man. Go for it.
We've kind of covered them. We've covered them through the conversation, so I think I'm good. Like, I think I'm good right now.
I'm good at the chance. Like, this is the first time I've seen Nitro so excited to talk to someone we've had in the podcast. He's like just coming out with all these questions. So like,
good questions, man.
Yeah, it's like, I told you, he's the artist, man. He's going to come with all these massive questions around the art and the animation. I'm like, I'm just going to let him do his thing.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, would you give me art lessons, Joshua?
Yes.
That's essentially what he's asking, is like that.
And I'm still learning, man. I'm still learning. I'll never stop learning art techniques and, I mean, like I said, Stan Lee stuff and seeing old comic artists, and I mean, they got some bad boys out there that can draw like, and I love figure drawing and anatomy. I love anatomy, so I love.
I have anatomy books on my shelf right here. Yeah.
And that's what I tell like younger people and adults, man. If you want to get into illustration or animation and stuff, you gotta get that anatomy down enough to where you can draw this stuff quick.
And you can exaggerate it if you need to, like you said.
Exaggerate like I do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you've had this passion and this drive for so long, and you were talking about just getting it out there. I feel like with the passion that you have, and then you have the talent to back it up, it's just a matter of time. Like there's no question about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just want to go to the chat for a minute. We've got someone popped in, Iguanadonis, saying shout out to Josh. You rock, Jules.
That's my boy Jules. Yeah.
Yeah, so your boy Jules is here giving a shout out to you. So I just wanted to mention that he popped in with that.
Okay. Yeah, so he actually works for Floyd County, who does Archer.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
A good friend of mine. Yep. Good artist right there too. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, pleasure to have you in the chat, Jules. Thank you for popping in.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Any other kind of art or animation questions, Nitro? Since we're in this vein, if you've got any more, I just want to
I didn't mean to take over the conversation. I'm sorry. That's all I had for.
He has never shoved me out of a conversation to take it over before since we started this podcast. This man is excited.
I was trying to be diplomatic about it, but
this man is excited to speak to you, Joshua.
These are great questions. I appreciate it, man. I'm having a blast over here, man.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I had on mine. Sorry, dude.
No, hey, dude, like go for it, man. It's nice to see you coming out with all that stuff. It's not like you to do it. Like, go for it, bro. You're asking so many great questions. I ain't going to interrupt, you know.
Right.
Let's have a look at my questions. So I think we've kind of talked about as much as we can, kind of like, we've talked about the art and the animation. We've talked kind of as much as we can about the story, because obviously we don't want to go too far into it. Before we dive into something, your friend Jill says, no problem. Pleasure to be here. I'm new to Twitch, so it took me a minute to figure out chat. LOL. No worries, Jules. We're so glad you're here, man. Thank you for coming in, supporting Josh, supporting us. Absolutely awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I guess the next big thing to really ask is, like, what's the next step then for Team Supreme? What's your like goal for the next few years? What would you love to see happen with it? And like, what can we also do to support that? Like, I was kind of intrigued with like, what would be your like dream scenario of if someone picked this up? Like, do you want to do like Team Supreme like animated movies, or did you have like a mini series idea where it would be like beginning, middle, and end, and I know how it's going to wrap up? Or like, is this going to be an ongoing thing of like, I'll do this until they tell me stop?
Yeah, Yeah, definitely the last one. I definitely, because there's so many different disabilities out there. I feel like there's so many stories that can be told, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the animation is definitely what I want to do. But like I said, I'm not going to be mad if they want to do a live action. I'll be totally with that.
Yeah.
You know, I love Marvel and DC. Definitely, the Marvel movies do better than DC.
Yeah.
In live action, I'm gonna say, because
Yeah.
DC
The animation is good for
animation
DC.
is off the chain. Like their
Yeah.
movies are well done.
Agreed.
And they look good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love all of that stuff, man. And my goal is to I want a theme park, man, like Disney World, but I want it exclusive to everybody. Yeah,
wow.
Wheelchair ramps, all of that stuff, man.
So cool.
Did not see that one coming. I see like do a TV show with the movies. Theme park was not on the list of stuff. I thought you were going to respond to that. That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I think it needs to happen. I just have big time dreams and goals, man. I'm very competitive. That's one thing about me being an athlete. I'm competitive, and I will not stop, man. I'm a tenacious human being. So that's it, man.
Oh, sorry about that, Iguanadonis in the chat. Apparently you were spamming emotes and Nightbot didn't like it. I apologize for deleting your stuff.
That was an automatic response from the chat. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, like your buddy Jules was trying to like put emotes in the chat and apparently our like moderator bot didn't like it and deleted. I apologize for it. Nightbot's a little bit temperamental.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
Passive aggressive too.
Yeah, it's like I love it. I could do this all day. Like really, I didn't program it to say that. I'm just going to say that right now. That's all that. But that's amazing, Joshua. It's amazing to hear how big your hopes and dreams and goals are for it. Like that's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I want video games too, man. I want teams to bring video games. And, yeah, man.
I do. It's like, hey, I'll happily play that, man. It's like we just talked about it like last week, how hyped we are with like the new Spider-Man game coming out and stuff like that. I want a Team Supreme game like that. I want to do something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I'd love to do that. I'd play that. You know, and it's like, and that's it. It's awesome to hear like your drive is still there, and you know, it's like because obviously, like you said, you've been pitching this around for a little while, and it's still yet to be picked up, and it's awesome. Honestly, dude, I'm sorry, I'm running my words here, but it's like honestly, you're an inspiration, dude. You really are.
I appreciate it.
You're an absolute inspiration. Just hearing the way you talk about it, the way that you're wanting to push forward this inclusiveness and part of your project, it's something that we desperately need, and it's not even like you know, you hear the different arcs of like, oh, we want inclusiveness for this and this and this, and you're like, no, let's include everybody. Let's make sure that everybody's here.
Crazy, yeah, and I appreciate those kind words. It was crazy. I talked to my father yesterday, and I was telling him because they don't hire me in this industry, you know, other than Nickelodeon. They were the only one to give me a shot. Yeah. And I was telling my dad, I was like, man, forget the art part of hiring me in the animation. I would hire myself specifically for inclusion and diversity. Yeah. I should be over one of those, like, just hire me for what I believe in.
Yeah.
And for my integrity, but
that's the thing. It's crazy, like even like that, because you think everybody's like clamoring to show, like, hey, look, we're including everybody, we're pushing everyone, and it's like, and you're like, even if it is just like a statistical thing, like really nobody's picking you up. Just the fact that, especially like now in the midst of like, you know, we kind of mentioned a little bit in the midst of the whole like Black Lives Matter and the protests that have been going on, and I'm like, really, you're not even doing it to like, even to like, you know, the picture of shaking hands, look, we're inclusive, like you're not even like faking it, you're like literally just not picking you up. It's like, come on.
It's pretty like it's blatant too, man, and that's the sad part. Like,
I mean, you told me that statistic, and like I was honestly in shock. Like less than 5% in animation.
All you gotta do whenever you get a second, whenever you get a second, just Google these animation studios and look at the group picture. There may be 3 or 4 black people in each. I mean, it's crazy amount. And it's what happens when that. Then I tell my dad, I'm like, man, even if I was to get an opportunity, I don't know if I would take it now, just because it's still not inclusive enough.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man. It's really, like I said, I'm 36, man. So growing up and still having to see the same type of character, same look, and and
Yeah.
that stuff gets old, man.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does. And me being a black artist, I want to see all types of races and nationalities. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get into all of that. No, this character has to be this. This character has to be
Yeah.
black. I don't
Yeah.
care about all that. I just have everybody in there. You know?
Yeah,
Iguanadonis,
absolutely.
Iguanadonis says animation studios desperately need actual inclusion boards. A lot of them just like to say they're inclusive, but don't put their money where their mouth is. Yeah, that blows me. That statistic blows me away.
And then some of
he
the other
knows firsthand. He knows firsthand because I talked to him yesterday. He told me 100% honesty what it is, and I'm not gonna put his business out there, but yeah, told me firsthand what he goes through out there.
Yeah, and some of the other stuff that he posted, like Joseph said, dude, yeah, we're starving for disability representation. 100% can confirm everything Josh is saying at every studio I've worked at. And then Chris as well, another one in the comments saying thanks for your drive, and yeah, the group picture says it all. Like,
yeah, it's
crazy,
man. It's sad.
Because I remember, like, cause like you said, there's that drive for inclusion. People are wanting characters that are representing themselves, like, and I understand that like, people are wanting to see, like, be able to look at these characters and these heroes and these different people, and like, that's me. You know, it's like you can see that in, like, even in comic books and in the Marvel movies, like how big a response something like Black Panther got.
Right.
You know, it's like
and that's it. Yeah.
People were so excited because, like, I think bar like what 2 or 3 actors, everybody in the movie was black.
Yeah.
Like everyone working on it was black. It was black director, black writers, and it's like, and everyone just flipped out for it. And it's like, and it proved that there's
grossing Marvel movies out.
Yeah, it's like there's proof that there's a drive there of people, they want to see that representation. And
it is.
Yep.
Yeah, there is, man. It's like, and definitely, and I mean, it's like,
filmed right around the corner too in Atlanta, right out here.
Yeah, man, and I remember in the comics when they started like changing stuff. Like I remember like when they done a big change of, like the big 3 of the Avengers, and like, you know, Captain America stepped down, and it was like Sam Wilson stepped into the role, and we had a black Captain America, and we had the female Jane Foster taking over and becoming a female Thor, and
right.
People flipped out.
Yeah.
For some reason, and it's like I don't get it because like. Like, oh, don't change the characters, and I'm like, the characters are like freaking 80 years old. Like Captain America's 80 years old. Like, let's do something different. You know, white guy that stands for America. Like, we've been doing that since literally World War II.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's try something different.
Iguanadonis says solution would be to hire more diverse writers to write more diverse characters, and to hire and promote people of color to the executive level. And then Chris Malachi, I'm sorry, I'm probably murdering your name. We see talented people from everywhere on Instagram. Yeah, like how is there, like, I guess for people at our level who really aren't involved in industry, is like, how can we help promote like diversity in,
how can we, like, that's to you as well, Joshua, and to you guys in chat as well. Like, how can we help support that? Because I'm all for helping pushing this inclusion. I want to see like more people of color and more diverse groups taking roles in these, you know, in art and animation, to see that kind of change. But what can we do? You know, average white guy that yells at the internet, what can I do to help?
You're doing it right now, actually, just by this conversation we're having and helping to push the narrative and sharing my work. I mean, there's so many. I'm okay as an artist, but there's so many dope artists out there who don't look like us. You know what I mean? Just different nationalities. So it's tough, but I do appreciate the support you guys give now. I mean, you're doing it right now, so just, you know, I appreciate the fact that you're both open to that. And I'm not saying, look, hire 50 black guys. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying your stories will be so much better if you hire everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, everything will get better if you just hire everybody. And that's where I'm at, man. And that's why it's kind of frustrating for me, because we can tell there's no black people in these studios because of the content that comes out of them. I can tell the color of the skin. Whenever there is a black character, we're not green. You know, the brownish green mud look like you can tell they just don't have enough people speaking up in there. And and that may be the reason why I haven't got picked up in an actual big anime, because I would say something, not rude. Yeah. You know, not rude or anything like that, but like, guys, that's not what our skin looks like, man. You know, so.
But that's the
It's,
thing. The fact that
it's
you're even saying that's a thing, like, you know, like, even just like the skin tone and skin color, like
absolutely
it's like you can't even represent black people in their actual
yeah,
skin tone
right,
and color, like, let alone how you're writing the character. It's like,
right,
and it's
yeah,
the fact of like that no one is catching that is clearly to say you don't have anyone there that would speak up and go, hey, by the way, that's going to be a problem.
right,
Like,
Yeah.
that's an issue. That's not what people look like, you know.
right. And I honestly, I just don't think they care, man. And after with this Black Lives Matter thing and George Floyd, you know, rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
And then you see all these studios come out of the woodwork. Oh yeah, we're gonna give free critiques to black creatives. I wasn't happy with that because it didn't seem honest to me. Like, why did we
Yeah.
take this brother getting killed? Then now
Yeah.
you want to open up a door just for a critique. I can take my artwork back to college and have my teachers critique me.
Yeah.
Hire these people. You know, hire a group of diverse people.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like,
Because it's
if
like,
they're really, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, because it's just this kind of crazy. Like, you know, it's like thankfully people are kind of getting spotlight shone on them now. It's like it's a shame that it took a man losing his life for that to be the case. Right. But even then, it's almost kind of, it sometimes feels like it's like a free throw out. Like, oh yeah, we're going to put a spotlight on black creators and stuff, and it's like,
Exactly.
but like, are you actually doing anything different? Like, they don't. It's like, don't give them a shout out for a free, you know, oh look, here they are and look how amazing they are. Like, no,
Yeah,
hire them.
exactly.
Like, actually bring these people on board. Actually change what you're doing. It's like they don't need free
Right.
shout outs. They need to be hired to do the job that they
Yeah,
can do.
right. Yeah,
It's
and
like,
I think the industry is it's so old and it's stuck in its ways, and that's why I have a lot of respect for Stan Lee. Like I keep bringing up Stan Lee. A lot of people don't know Black Panther. The only reason he has that mask on because he's a black character. They made him they wanted his face covered, and a lot of people don't know that.
wow.
So Stan Lee really went outside of the box to try to create black characters. That's where the X-Men came from. They were supposed to be black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people don't know that, man. It's
Yeah.
so it's stuff that's been going on for a long time, and the things that you're seeing going on in the world today, especially in the U.S., is people, you know, we just tired of it, man. It's unfortunate things are getting burnt down, and but we've, like I said, 36. I'm 36, and I've been seeing the same cartoons and the same looks and the same styles. Like, man, switch it up.
Yeah.
Just change some things, man. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all we want, man. And like I said, if I may get blacklisted, and I might be blacklisted now, I'm not a rude person. I'm super friendly, and you know, I'm a man of
definitely.
integrity. That's how I was raised. But they might not like the narrative I'm pushing as it pertains to diversity and inclusion. So I may be blacklisted. I don't know. But if I have to be blacklisted so
Yeah.
my daughter can get in the industry to tell her stories with no problem,
Absolutely.
so be it. I'm perfectly fine with that, man. I'm here to open up doors for the next generation and to pioneer this new industry that I'm creating.
All right, I want to catch up in the chat here a little bit because Jules is going off here. He's like messaging like crazy in this chat. So back when we were talking about what we can do to help, he said, like, you know, sharing and promoting black artists on your social media. Kristen said, you said my name right to you, Nitro, so you pronounced this last thing correctly. So he said, yeah, promoting black game designers and creators, inviting them to speak. You guys are doing great, though. Thank you. We're trying.
Yeah.
I can 100% attest to Josh saying about how uneducated white artists design black characters. And yep, like where these studios been, you guys are speaking truth right now. Stanley the OG, and I'm white and I'm tired as F of seeing white-centered stories. Laugh my ass off. Like, yeah, and that's it. And it's like the thing is, like, yeah, it's like it's the same stories over and over again, like you're saying, like both of you are all saying. It's like there's so many stories that can be told. I mean, that's one of the great things, like looking at the Team Supreme characters. Like, yeah, they do all have these amazing different disabilities and abilities, but even like in just who they are, like you've got black characters, there's a white character, there's Hispanic, there's Asian, there's you know, try to represent these different groups and the fact of like, yeah, these people do exist.
Right.
Well, yeah, even in the villains, like I saw a post you did on Instagram a while ago, and like they're all different. Like you have a set of villains that are wearing blue and gold, right? Yeah, that's so cool.
No,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it's and one is an amputee. The girl, she has the gold leg. Yeah, so I'm all about that, man. But it's
But like,
the
it's,
animation industry is it's different, man.
yeah,
So I mean, it was back in the day, it was very racist as
yeah.
well. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
it's like I think if you've been our age at some point, you've seen the cartoons and the animation that used to come back out in the day, and like
yeah,
they were very racist in how they were drawn and very
absolutely.
racially insensitive, and it's like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the problem is like although they've stopped putting stuff like that out, like the
Right.
business itself hasn't totally changed,
Right.
which is like that in itself is a problem.
Absolutely. And
You
even
know.
like the way certain studios, I know Disney is big on it. Like their villains are usually and I made a post about it. I was like, man, please stop equating the color black with negativity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like their villains usually have dark eyes, black hair.
Yeah.
And kids see this growing up, and they equate it together. Oh,
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
black.
It's like a subliminal type thing.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
can take it.
very
You talk about like the hero, the White Knight. They're doing all this stuff,
Yeah,
and like you see the
exactly.
characters are
Exactly.
dark and
right.
always in shadow and always blackened out, and
Yeah.
it's like it's like a subliminal like these different things.
Right.
So
The killer whale is black.
yeah,
The great white
Yeah.
shark is white. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's
Yeah.
come on, man.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
It exists. It's out there, and it's like it's something
It is. Yeah.
it's something that needs to be addressed. I mean, it's Team Supreme's a phenomenal thing that you're doing, but it's sad that it has to exist.
Right.
If you get me, like the fact that you've put this together, because there isn't inclusion for disabilities, there isn't inclusion, there isn't even inclusion for Black and Asian and Hispanic
Yeah.
and all the different types of people that are out there. There's none of that.
Right.
It's like it's
Yeah.
crazy that like Team Supreme is like it's so groundbreaking, but like it shouldn't be though.
Right. Exactly.
It shouldn't be something that's groundbreaking. It should be the
Right.
norm.
Exactly. And that's
Especially
why
in
I
America, like, because I come from Scotland. I live in America, but I'm
Okay.
originally from Scotland. Like, seeing white dudes and white women, like, yeah, that's typical. I come from Scotland. Like, typically, yeah, the majority of people are white.
Sure.
That's what we are. We're white Europeans. We're Anglo-Saxons. I'm whiter than a milk bottle. You know what I mean? It's like it's like,
Yeah.
but coming to America, like, there's so much culture here. There's so many
is,
different
yeah.
cultures. Like, this country
Right.
like forgets how young it is. This
Yeah.
country's like a couple of 100 years old, and I'm like,
Right.
that's nothing.
Nothing.
If you
Right.
go over to like the
Yeah.
UK, and I'm like, you're a couple of 100 years old. Like, yeah, good. We went through all this like in BC,
Yeah.
all the stuff that's going on here. It's like it's crazy, and it's like the fact of realizing there are so many groups here that come from
It is.
all over, but yet somehow we can go, we're not going to be inclusive to everyone. It's like it's nuts.
Right, it is, man. It is, especially for people like us, who I don't care if you're black, white, green, or orange, man. If I like you, I like you. I'm a
Yeah.
man of integrity. I was raised,
Yeah.
and that's what it always will be. So it's everybody doesn't think like that, and it's unfortunate. Like I said, and it's America is crazy, man. The U.S.
Yeah.
has these huge racial issues. Especially against us, obviously. But what people don't know, and I'm gonna tell you here on this live, because I want people to realize this. I work at Home Depot. So about a week ago, my manager, I had to remove all of the from the shelves because racist people were tying nooses and hanging them up
Oh,
in
gosh.
certain Home Depot. So I had to remove 4 pallets worth. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I do have to go through things like that. It doesn't bother me, but it's like, man, I told my manager, I was like, the rope, we're not scared of no rope. Try to put it on me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even like that though, the fact of like
That'd be crazy.
the fact of almost kind of like you're saying that, it's like I was like, it doesn't bother me, and I'm like, that kind of scares me even more though, because it's like
It's crazy.
it's became
It is.
so normalized. Like you're like, yeah, that crap happened, and it's like,
Right.
and it's almost like that shouldn't be a normalized thing.
It shouldn't
I
be
mean, I even
normalized,
said
right?
I said it to my wife the other day. I said, you know what's so scary is to hear like the way a lot of people talk about immigrants and talk about and so much racist stuff against immigrants to this country. And I know for the sheer fact of like when they talk about that, they don't include me just because I'm white. It's to hear them talking so negatively against people of color who have immigrated to this country, who are trying to live a good life, and that stuff. And I'm almost offended that it's not getting hurled at me as well. That you're automatically applying this privilege to me just because I've got white skin. I'm like,
Right.
no, I'm an immigrant
Yeah.
to this country as well. You say that against them, you're saying it against me.
Yeah.
And like that is
No,
not
I respect
okay.
it.
And it's like, I don't want you to get your privileges like given to me just because you're like, oh, you're white.
Right.
Like, no, I don't want it. I don't want you to apply that to me because I hear how you really feel about immigrants.
Right.
And what it turns out to be is like you're not talking that way about immigrants. It turns out you're being racist.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, because like that stuff about immigration, it's never been hurled at me once.
Yeah.
Even though I'm full blown immigrant to this country, I've only been here 6 years. As like, and it's scary. Like I've never seen racism when I was back in Scotland the way that I do in America.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It is rough, but we're used to it, man. It's unfortunately it's life. You know, if everything is good, if you're an athlete and you're black and you're winning games and making owner of the money and stuff like that, you're good.
Yeah.
But as soon as you take that uniform off, now you're black.
Yeah.
You know, even LeBron James, who was big time famous, he moved to LA and they wrote the N-word on his gate outside. So it doesn't matter that he's this big time superstar basketball player.
Which is crazy. He's probably the biggest name in basketball like ever, practically next to like Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
so crazy.
It's just sad, man. But that's what it is. But that's why I'm here to. I believe I was put here to make this difference and bring people together. And I feel like Supreme is gonna be the cartoon to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I just love your positive attitude. Like it's super infectious.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the cool things, specifically about art, I think, is like you can lead with your art. And we were talking about Instagram, like finding artists on Instagram that you really like and promoting them. Like that's one of the cool things about Instagram is, you know, you're leading with the art. That's all you see is the art.
Right.
And like if it's good, it's good. You know.
Yeah.
And like you can promote that and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just think it's cool. A couple in the comments. Guanadonna says sorry for spamming the comments. It's totally cool. Gao, I believe, said I graduated from film school last August, and I was the only black person in the writers' room.
Yep.
Don Snipes says he was asking a question. Are all the characters that you posted, I think, on your Instagram, are they all in the same universe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually I'll put like the Team Supreme logo in there just so people will know. I don't think all of them. A lot of them are, and there's a lot of characters that I haven't even shared yet. I have a character with asthma. Like my Team Supreme is big, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually got a picture here I'm just going to throw up for those that are in chat. Like this is like the main ones that Joshua kind of mentioned earlier. Like when he was talking about the characters. So I'm just throwing that team up there. These are kind of like the main ones that we've seen posted on his social media a lot, and it's kind of at the forefront, and the characters that appear on like the Team Supreme merch and stuff. So those are the ones there now, but as he said, there's a lot more. So I just remembered I hadn't put that picture up earlier. I wanted to throw it up for everybody.
No, thank you.
Alright, and was there any more stuff in chat, Nitro?
Let me see. Guanadonna says, can Disney stop having their black characters turn into frogs or blobs?
Oh man, yes. That's a big thing, man. Yeah, when they finally give us our characters, man, these black characters, they always turn them into a bird or a frog. It's like, come on, man. Even this new one, I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan, and Jamie Foxx is playing in a new Pixar film where I think
Soul?
he turns into like Soul.
Yeah, that's it.
Soul. Yeah, so he's gonna be turning into like some cells or something like that, and hopefully he doesn't stay in that state long.
Yeah.
But it's like, my goodness, man, they act like it's frustrating because they act like it's a problem to have us on camera this long.
Yeah.
That's why Enter the Spider-Verse, that's why it did so well, because he didn't turn into anything. You know, it was just a well done movie.
I'm so glad they handled that movie properly. Yeah, I really am.
You know what? They had a diverse team working on it as well. Even the writers and stuff were black. You know, it was a mix. It was a very cultured writers room and animators.
Huh. So, yeah. It's almost like having a diverse writers room helps characters of color come out better in films than if it's written by a bunch of white dudes. It's funny that.
Yeah. How ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, which
probably the best Spider-Man movie, like film or animated to date.
Oh yeah, 100%. The
Yeah.
best Spider-Man thing.
It
I
was awesome.
cannot sing the praises of Into the Spider-Verse enough.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
Really well done.
character. Miles Morales is a phenomenal character, and they handled him so well in that. Like, I'm hyped for
Yeah.
the second one. I'm so excited for the second Spider-Verse movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think they're about to start working on it, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, now that the COVID stuff's kind of starting to like open up,
Yeah.
things are starting to open up again. They've announced that they are going to be working on it now. Like, production started. I'm like, good. You need to get another one
Yes.
out. Like, that's the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
It's really good, man. Really
I need to
good.
go watch that. It's
Even the look of it.
I'm
even
going to
the
go watch
look
that
was
tonight.
just so
Actually, it's
different.
Father's Day. I get movie choice. I might watch that tonight.
Yeah. It's a good movie, man.
Oh, awesome movie.
It's
I
good
love
pick.
it. But yeah, so it's like yeah, and Ad says as well that movie was awesome. Like, wow, you guys are blowing up the chat today. I can't keep up with y'all.
This is awesome. I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, Nitro, you stay on top of it, bro.
I'm trying.
But yeah, it's like, but honestly, yeah, that's kind of what we want to do. Like, speaking as, you know, two white nerds talking on the internet, like, we want to do what we can to help support that, because like we became aware of it, and I'll be honest, like I'll speak out the fact of like I've, you know, like when Black Lives Matter first came out and all that stuff, and a lot of stuff was going on, like I was very ignorant to what was going on in the black community and how much racism there was and hatred there was, and yeah, I was, what was it they were saying is like, I'm trying to get the wording right for it. Like it was anti-racist, but I wasn't like speaking up against it. Like I wasn't actively being racist, but I also was kind of like not actively stepping out against it in a way. And and I'm sorry to say that it's taken this long for me being in this country to realize how bad the racism actually is and how much hatred there is out there. And like, I think I speak for Nitro and myself that we both want to step out now and speak up against this stuff. We want to help support the amazing black creators out there and people of all diversities that are in creation, whether it's comics or animation or movies or whatever, because for some reason y'all are getting pushed aside, and it's bullcrap basically that is happening to y'all. It's
it's unfortunate, man, but no, I appreciate both of you and your platform, using this platform to speak on this stuff is awesome, man. And even, you know, you sharing my work, even the one I did with the dead guy on the flag, you know, bleeding with the flag. I appreciate you sharing that, man.
Yeah.
Really
you shared that, and that just blew me away. That it was so raw and visual, that artwork, but like it was so, like the art, and it was so beautiful. It just so hit me, and I was like, wow, it's so powerful. It really was. If any of you don't know, like I'm going to be throwing up Joshua's like social media stuff and that when he does all his plugging at the end. So definitely head over to his Instagram and check that out. And it was like the American flag on its side, and it's a black guy on top who's obviously been killed, who's like sprawled out on top of it, and the blood running down like the stripes on the American flag. And I saw that, and it was literally like, whoa, like it blew my mind seeing that, and I'm like, wow.
I appreciate it.
You know,
man.
and
I usually draw how I'm feeling, man.
I love that, man, because like in one visual image you can say more than you could in an entire paragraph.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
that's the beauty of art, man.
I seen that and I had to share it, and I'm like, it said so much, and I'm like, I have to share it. Like, that's why I put it out right away. Like, I need to share this. This has to be, more people need to see it, you know.
Thank you.
And so I go to the chat again. People are saying, like El Tommy saying, Spider-Verse was so good, had to watch it back to back. And then Don saying Josh is a very popular man. It's like, dang right he is. All these comments. And thank you for everyone that showed up for this today. Y'all showed up in support for Joshua today, man. Y'all came out in support of him.
That's awesome, man. I'm so grateful, man. I'm humbled for this opportunity, man. Having a blast.
Yeah, this is so cool.
We're so glad to have you on the show. Like, honestly, I know we said it at the start, but like this is absolutely amazing having you on the show, man.
Yeah.
And you're such a dead, down to earth, cool, positive, inspiring guy, and it's like I can't help but smile and go like, yeah, let's do this. You know.
I'll always be this humble and just laid back, man. I was even telling my team, I have no problem taking a pay cut to get the right team behind Team Supreme because I want it done right.
Yeah.
I always pray that the right studio gets a hold of when I say the right studio, the studio that has integrity for the project, and not
Oh,
just
yeah.
That will
like,
handle it right.
we need to make a quick buck. So
Yep.
I really want the right studio to get involved in, and that's what I'm hoping and praying for. And so
Well, we're
Yeah,
going to be
well,
hoping
anything
and
we can
praying for
do.
you as well, man.
Yeah, and anything we can do to help, man. We are on board 100%.
Yeah, anything at all, give us a shout. Whatever we can do, we are more than happy to try and help out. It's like you're such an amazing guy, amazing project that you're doing. It's like, yeah, we're all in. And like I said, I've been following
appreciate
you
it,
for
man.
about 2 years now, and that ain't going to
Yeah.
stop anytime soon.
Yeah, if I can just get like $10 million from each of you, I'll be straight, man.
You might need to wait a while for that one, but once I got the 10 million to spare, y'all can get it.
I can write a check for like $1. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I can get him to write a check $1 for me as well.
I'll make it $2.50.
Like, dude, I've got 2 kids and one on the way. You ain't getting 10 million for a while for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to the chat as well. Gogos says, "This is my first time on Twitch. I'm here to support Joshua, but I really enjoy the channel. Thank you so much for this candid chat." Thank you so much, Gogo.
Thanks, man. Thanks,
Thank you
man.
for coming on to Twitch to check out the interview. It's like, I know this might be a new platform for a lot of y'all, but thank you. This is exactly why we do it on Twitch. Like, we could literally just record this and post it on YouTube, but like, this interaction is the whole point we're on Twitch. That we can get the interaction with the audience.
Yeah.
And then Niguanadonis says, "Who couldn't love Josh? He's the best. Happy to discover this great channel as well. Thank you guys for your honesty and openness. That's the good work." Throws my money at Josh. Well, thank you so much, Niguanadonis. Thank you so much for being here and supporting, and the kind words towards the channel as well. And we'll make sure Josh reaches out to you to get that 10 million from you.
Yeah.
And El Tommy's saying this has been awesome. Like, and thank you so much, guys, for everyone that's in the chat. It's like, I'm glad you've been enjoying this conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So since everyone's kind of talking about that, let's kind of do it. George, do you want the opportunity to kind of plug your stuff and plug your social media and all that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm grateful for everybody that's listening. Thank you for this opportunity. My social media is at I'm Joshua Leonard on Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, I also have Leonard Studios, the Joshua Leonard Foundation, and Team Supreme Cartoon. So, and I have those on Twitter as well. So, and I can be found on Facebook, Joshua Leonard. You'll see the artwork that I just posted. It's just a side profile of myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's
awesome, by
like
the way.
you can't, like, the night before drop an art piece like that. By the way, that was phenomenal. Because the videos are up on Instagram. It's just him just sitting, like, just calmly drawing, and I'm like, dude, you can't pretend like you're just sitting like, I done this overnight, just while I felt like it. Like, it's beautiful, like, profile picture.
I appreciate it, man. My daughter fell asleep on me
Aw.
like what?
Tired her out, man. Tired her out. She's getting rest so she can treat you right on Father's Day, So for anyone that's in chat as well, I've just thrown in some of the links there. We made up some links for Joshua's stuff. So the first one is a bunch of links on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for his personal accounts if you want to follow him. And I've also thrown up the stuff for the social media for Team Supreme itself on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find them there. And then the final link I've thrown up is literally for leonardstudios.com, his website. So head over there, check out all the stuff for Team Supreme actually on there, and also as well get some Team Supreme merchandise, which once I get that spare bit of cash, I'm going to be picking some of that up myself because some of it looks sweet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Don Snipes in chat asked if you were going to be putting together an art book.
I've never thought of that, man. I could.
Dude, you should.
could.
I would buy it as well, man. If you put together an art book, I think we'd be your first 2 customers, dude. Honestly.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I got a lot of art. For sure, man. Got a lot of artwork. It's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely go for it, man. And thank you for Don Snipes for putting that forward and putting that idea out there. Iguanadonis. Josh, if you dropped an art book, I'd buy a copy. Definitely going to buy some prints after the stream, though. There
Awesome.
You go.
I appreciate
So yeah, go ahead, go along, check out Joshua's stuff, go and check him out on social media, go and check out the website, go and grab some of the merchandise, support this amazing man and the amazing vision he's got for Team Supreme. And definitely hit him up on social media, find out how you can keep helping this vision come true. We're definitely going to be pushing for Team Supreme and praying and hoping it's going to do something amazing and whatever we can do, definitely. And to plug ourselves a little bit as well, for those that are here for the first time, if you are brand new here, you can hit that follow button and follow Comics Lacrosse here on Twitch. And stay up to date. We do podcasts like this every single Sunday at 2 o'clock, usually talking about different comic book or movie topics. Or we have special guests like Joshua on the show who we're talking about. And we do have another special guest coming up next month. We'll be talking more about that in the next few weeks. If you want to catch up with any of the stuff that you've missed from us in our previous shows, you can head over to our YouTube and subscribe there and catch stuff. And if you want to see this interview with Joshua again, it will be getting uploaded there in the next couple of days. So you can definitely check it out again if you want to hear it again or if you missed any of it. And follow us on social media as well. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So go ahead and follow us and stay up to date with what we are doing. I fully intend to have Joshua again on the show at some point. This has been so much fun, man, and definitely want to have you back at some point.
Yeah, really. Thanks again for taking your time out on Father's Day to do this.
Yeah, really thank you, man. Thank you for doing this.
Like, this was awesome. I'm glad that we did it, man. I had a lot of great conversations. You both are awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. And yeah, if any of y'all have any more questions that we've not covered here today, go ahead, hit Joshua up on social media. I'm pretty sure he'd be happy to answer anything you've got going. And I know Nitro's probably going to be hitting him up with quite a lot of stuff after today.
I'll try to keep that to a minimum.
And Iguanadonna says, Happy Father's Day, Josh.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, and happy Father's Day to anyone that's watching, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube. If you're watching this later, happy Father's Day to you if you're indeed a father. I hope you're having a blessed day with this. I think that's it for me. I don't think I've got any other questions I had. Did you have anything you wanted to hit before we wrapped up, Nitro?
No, I think I'm good. Just thanks again, Joshua. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, brother. You too, man. Appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for stopping by and chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, and anything else you want to say to anyone, or any stuff you want to pitch or anything, Joshua, before we wrap up for today?
No, I just want to say thank you to the listeners once again, and thank you, you two, for giving me this opportunity, man, to speak and
Absolutely.
tell my story.
Yeah, man, absolutely our pleasure. All right, let me see. I'm actually going to try and do it. I mean to do this like all the time. Is to do a raid on people so that we can jump onto their Twitch and show them some love, and I suck at it. I keep forgetting about it. So we're actually going to go and see Gid Kid Dad, who I actually done a shout out for last week, and who really pushed our viewers. So if you want to stick around and show him some love as well, that would be absolutely great. We're going to go over and raid him. At least that's what I intend to do. I still not really sure what I'm doing with the raiding stuff. Alright, raid. So stick around and show him some love. Thank you again so much, Joshua, for being on the show. And everyone else, have an amazing Father's Day. Have an absolutely brilliant night, and we will see you all again soon. See you all next week, 2 o'clock.
See you guys.
Bye now.
Bye. Is that it?
One sec.
I think so.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.